love the names on this team. They have Sixto Sanchez, and they have my favorite name probably in baseball right now, Jazz Chisholm.
Showing emotion in baseball is terrible and should never be in the game.
It's weird how the dynamic works between sports.
But to win a championship, not only do you need great players on the court, but you need good chemistry, which takes time to develop.
Justin Fields is a all-time talent.
Corey Perry will give some veteran presence to the Canadians.
I feel like Luka will take that next step, and if he can get a three ball consistently around 35%, I feel like they could become a contender.
We can make jokes about you not being in the Super Bowl for 20-something years, but...
What's up, everyone? This is Justin Goldman from the Goalie Guild and Lift the Mask, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Austin and Kevin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I had a fantastic weekend. And here is the man that was up late last night working with his client, the Saul Goodman, Austin.
Kevin, and your analogies. I love it. It was a great week of football. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and both of our favorite teams won, and they're both 1-1 now. So
it's true. I think the Packers one was expected. The Cowboys one, I was shocked, and even at the beginning of the game, I had to be told to calm down. When I texted a friend, I was like, "Hey, I kind of have hope," and he's like, "Chill, dude. It's the first quarter." But the offense looked good the first 3 drives, and then it stopped.
Yeah. But I think the Bengals defense also adjusted to Cooper Rush. But Cooper Rush, in his only 2 career games, is 2-0. And I don't know. I don't think he looks all that bad. I heard a lot of noise in the offseason. Why are they bringing back Cooper Rush? He sucks. But I don't think he sucks.
It is a paradox because a lot of his throws, the wide receivers had to adjust. And it wasn't just
because the wide receivers aren't used to Cooper Rush. They're used to Dak.
Well, it just seemed like the ball was put in a very awkward position to me. But he has 2 game-winning drives in his first 2 career starts. So I don't know. And as long as he can just hold the fort, and the Cowboys can, maybe there is some hope after all. But maybe it was just because the Bucs defense was so good, which continued to be good, and Jameis Winston seemed to become the Jameis Winston of old in that Bucs-Saints game as the Bucs finally get a win against the Saints.
In the regular season, because obviously the Bucs beat the Saints.
Regular season.
In the playoffs, but yeah. And now Mike Evans is suspended for next week.
Yes.
So that's going to hurt, especially with Julio, who's been dealing with injury. Russell Gage has been dealing with injury. Chris Godwin's been dealing with injuries. People are like, oh, Tom Brady is back to what he should be as a 45-year-old. He has no one to throw the ball to. There is no one.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about it because how do I word this? Tom Brady, it's a marathon. And from Man the Arena, he's September. No, we're in September. September is where you kind of figure out, you try out stuff. Then you gear up. So Tom Brady, I think, is warming himself up for the playoffs. And as long as you can steal wins when Tom Brady is, quote unquote, not Tom Brady, because I don't think he has been Tom Brady, just because of his play doesn't look like Tom Brady, but they're 2-0. So I wouldn't worry about it.
I mean, wins can only supplement any sort of injuries or anything else. So you win, it's not that bad. But
what were you gonna say?
The Giants start 2-0. What are your thoughts about that?
I think it was very interesting. I think Brian Daboll has done a lot more work with this team and improved them faster than I thought he would. I thought it'd be a slower progression, but Saquon's finally healthy. Looks to be healthy. Defense is looking good. And so, yeah, it is surprising. And I could see them falling off if Saquon were. Hopefully, he doesn't. But if something goes wrong, I think they're heavily dependent on the run game, and that helps set up Daniel Jones. So that's why I think Brian DeBall is working with what he has before he gets into the offseason, and then he can choose a different quarterback if he wants.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's going to be such a popular decision with management, especially if they do have a good year this year, because they drafted Daniel Jones so high. But I don't think this is a QB of the future. I don't know if really anyone outside of the organization does, but he's 2-0 just like everyone else that's 2-0. Whoever quarterback is 2-0, he is. I think one of the biggest things that happened this week is the fact that Trey Lance is out for the year, and now Jimmy's back at QB. It just seems like such a weird situation. Now, what happens next year? Like his contract runs out after this year. I would bet he leaves, but if let's say he goes on another miraculous run like he has the last 2 times he's made the playoffs with them, I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely terrible to see Trey Lance be out for the season. So that like stinks for him because I think he was just starting to get used to it, and like he had a year to like work, but like that's not game time stuff. And the Niners invested so much in them, but they were able to keep Jimmy G. And to your response, I think if Jimmy G does do something similar to last year, his market goes way up because now he's a free agent. There's no trade. So he can demand as much money as he wants because the Niners probably let him go because I don't think they're willing to just put Trey Lance on and be like, no, we're not going to. They gave up a lot for him. So I feel there's pressure for that from management to keep him. Like you were talking about with the Giants, I think there is even more pressure with the Niners to go, we want to make sure this pick works. But it will be interesting to see. They got to win. Seahawks just didn't look to be what they were the first week. But it was still a good week of football. And what else was there? The Bengals offensive line.
Yep.
I was going to ask you this.
Great.
Out of these two teams are going to press the. When are you pressing the panic button? Bengals and Colts.
No Titans in that?
Oh, yeah, let's put Titans in there too.
So let me pull up next week's schedule so I can see.
I can go first if you want because I have an interesting.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay.
I think one second. We should also add the Raiders, who are 0-2.
Oh, let's add the Raiders. Yeah. Okay. So let me actually look at the standings because that might change my opinion on the NFC North. Oh no, AFC North, not NFC North. Okay, so actually, I was about to say press the panic button for the Bengals, but the other teams in the AFC North are 1-1. So I think I'm not going to press the panic button. And I'm not going to press the panic button for the Texans or for the Colts. Because if I remember, they were in a similar situation Frank Reich's first year.
When the issue that's happening right now is the fact that their wide receiver core is already one of the worst in the league. And their best wide receiver is hurt. So they have no versatility for Matt Ryan to throw the ball to. They need to sign free agent wide receivers. They need somebody to come in and be something. Or they need to make a big trade or something. Because they're so depleted in that department that it makes it to where Matt Ryan looks terrible because he has no one to throw the ball to whenever they're down by a lot.
That's a good point. I think I'm not going to press the panic button yet on them because I think Frank Reich has handled adversity before. Especially
part of the question was, when do you press the panic button? So when would you?
I might do if they go 0-3.
Well, they're already 0-1-1, so
But yeah, or if they lose next week.
I don't think that's fair. And let me tell you why. They play against the Chiefs.
Oh.
I don't know if you could panic after a loss to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I might not panic then, but what does their schedule look like? So you have Chiefs, Titans. They got to win against the Titans. If they lose that game, I'm pressing the panic button.
That's the same thing with me. I can agree on that. And then with the other teams, Titans versus Raiders this week. 2 0-2 teams that both expected to be playoff teams, that were both playoff teams last year, and both lost to the Bengals in the playoffs. Loser of that game is panic time. If Titans beat Raiders, not panic time yet. It's not, because I believe the Titans, in a weak division, can muster enough wins to get it done. And the Raiders have struggled to hold leads. They really have. And now, what was the other team we mentioned? So it was Colts.
Bengals.
The Bengals. If Bengals lose to the Jets, it's panic time.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be a crazy scenario because the Jets are 1-1. That'd make them 2-1.
Yep. It's just their offensive line. It looks about the same. Even though they did so much work in the offseason to fix the offensive line.
Yeah, whatever they did, it hasn't meshed yet into something that is useful.
Okay, so we're not pressing the panic button on any of them yet.
I don't press the panic button after 2 weeks, no matter what, because anything can happen in 2 weeks. Again, the Giants are 2-0. Are we pressing the hooray button yet? Like, is it a great season already? If they lose all of the rest of their games, which is entirely possible from a Giants team that we did not expect anything of, is it already a great season? I would say no.
I think it's a good sign for them, like for Brian DeBall. Like, okay, this seems to be going in the right direction. And then Eagles look to be very good. And to me, they're, like I predicted, they seem to be the leaders of the NFC East.
It's hard to see right now, especially with Dak injured. It's hard to see what that would be, because I'd love to see that matchup, because last year, especially in that last game, the Cowboys absolutely dominated the Eagles. And while the wide receiver core with the Cowboys, because they decided to trade away all their good players, is definitely inferior comparatively, it definitely isn't bad. So we'll have to see until they face against each other.
My counterpoint to you, even though they got dominated, to me, the Eagles made so many moves to get better. They trade for AJ Brown. They trade for CJ Gardner. They add Jordan Davis. Nakobe Dean probably has to show up soon. They just, to me, had an excellent offseason while the Cowboys had a terrible offseason. And now Nick Sirianni seems to be working well with the new parts. And Jalen Hurts is doing just enough.
Yeah, I mean, I see that point, but I don't know if the team format is enough. I just don't trust the Eagles right now. And again, I'm going to have to be proven wrong, but they haven't played anybody. They play the Lions and the Vikings, and I don't think the Vikings are all that good, which is why it was such a big deal when the Packers lost to them. But it's still a rivalry game there. And then this week they play Washington, who I don't think is all that good. The thing is that they're in the NFC East, the worst division in football right now, even though the Giants are 2-0. So all the teams have a win. They're 2-0, 2-0, 1-1, 1-1. And if you just look at that, maybe they're not the worst division in the league. But them and the AFC South are both still inferior sections of the league to this point of the season. Now, the Eagles are definitely a team that I think can make the playoffs now, because once you start 3-0 or 2-0 coming out of a bad division, it's always possible. But let me check their schedule.
I think they have a pretty easy schedule to start off with. Something I saw is they play teams that didn't make the playoffs last year and were under 500.
Yeah, they play against Commanders, Jacksonville, and they play Arizona Cowboys. And they have a bye. They have Steelers, and they have Texans, Commanders, Colts, Packers, Titans, Giants, Bears, Cowboys, Saints, Giants.
Yeah. Versus the Cowboy schedule, which I think is very tough, especially given just how bad, just how depth-wise they aren't really good. Because if you lose they've lost wide receivers, so they're already down. Cowboys play the Giants. I don't know how that's going to go. Then Commanders, but then they play Rams, play Eagles, play Lions, Bears. But then after the Bears, you got Packers, you got Vikings, you have Giants, Colts, Eagles, Jaguars, Eagles. Oh, okay. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought it would be, but because like they played the Bucks, the Bengals, and I think that's pretty fortunate for them when you're playing the Bucks and you're playing the reigning AFC champion, and you squeak one win out. I think that's pretty above schedule, especially with the backup quarterback. So maybe the Cowboys could win, but I don't know.
It's really going to come down to the defense, which was the reason why they made the playoffs last year. Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, this entire defense has to be elite for them to make the playoffs. And I honestly think they will. Dan Quinn is what I think is a very good defensive coordinator, one of the best in the league. And I think they could get it done as long as they can play stellar defense.
I agree. I think Michael Parsons is the luckiest pick in Cowboys history because he's totally exceeded expectations. Like, he has the most sacks. To me, I love Dan Quinn using him, and I know Dan Quinn's probably going to leave after this year. I just love how Micah Parsons can be on the edge, great edge rusher, but then he's also a linebacker, and he makes plays.
Him not playing college is the only reason why you guys got him. Because if he would have done what he does now, like dominated college, he'd have been the first pick in the draft.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And if the Broncos and Panthers didn't draft the corners the Cowboys wanted. That's why I say he's the luckiest pick. My runner-up is Dak Prescott.
Not even Romo?
Well, Romo wasn't a pick. He was undrafted.
That's actually crazy that Romo was undrafted.
Oh, yeah. Don't want to get too Cowboy-centric. Chargers, do you think Brandon Staley is okay? To me, he punted a lot. And I was like, is this Brandon Staley? Doesn't seem like Brandon Staley.
Yeah, it was a little weird. It was a little weird. But I'm more focusing. We can get a little bit not into predictions, but just about what games we're looking forward to this week. Bills Dolphins looks like it's about to be insane. That looks like it's going to be one of the best games of the year. The most important game has to be Raiders versus Titans, though, because that could be season ending, basically.
That's a good point. I think I might change it to Rams and Cardinals.
Most important
for the season. There are a lot of good games. Because you got Rams
Packers
and Cardinals.
Bucks is going to be a great game.
Yeah. and Niners and Broncos. Because if the Niners pull that one out, that to me, the Broncos would be scary.
Yeah.
I might do Bills Dolphins because if the Dolphins and Bills stay hot, that whoever head-to-head matchup could have a lead in the division.
That's true.
And the Dolphins, that was incredible with their wide receiving core just coming back in that.
Oh,
fourth
also,
quarter
can we
against the
talk
Ravens.
real quick? Jalen Waddle has the best celebration in the league.
Oh yeah, the Waddle. It's funny.
That
Love
one,
that one.
it may be the greatest celebration of all time. It is so good. The fact that his name is Waddle when he waddles, that's just so perfect. That's
Yeah.
a match made in heaven, as they say.
Gesicki was not a good celebration. But
What a
it's
comeback.
good.
Down 21 points heading into the fourth.
It's wild. And their team their offseason was also a good offseason.
Very
And
much so.
McDaniel seems to be doing well.
2 through 6 tutties.
Tutties?
Tutties, yep.
Okay. I'm just going to ignore that. I also haven't given you as much cred about Kirk Cousins yesterday or the way he played last night.
The Eagles defense was good.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the bigger issue for the Vikings is their O-line than anything.
That's true, but that is my point about Kirk Cousins. 1 week good, and then this past week. And you were close with Ryan Tannehill on the interceptions, but then the Titans pulled him, so you couldn't get.
Yeah,
Third
I
interception.
feel like I should get at least half credit there because he could have thrown another one but they took him out. So
Do you take stock in him pulling him out and maybe like seeing Malik Willis?
No, they were down by 1 trillion, Kevin.
Okay.
No. And Ryan Tannehill played good week 1. He had 2 touchdowns, no picks week 1. He was viable. They came back because their offense just stagnated, but it wasn't his fault. The Bills really good, but he also played terrible. What do you think about your boy Matthew Stafford leading the league already in interceptions so far this year?
He does not look as good as he did last year. I'm not sure if that's injury or what is up with the Rams offense.
Yeah, because he's only throwing 4 tutties. Or touchdowns, if you want me to say touchdowns.
I just never heard tutties before.
What?
I don't know how to react to that.
Brady went up to Gronk after the Super Bowl and said 2 tutties, and then Gronk says 2 tutties.
All right. I will not use it, but feel free to use it. I would get used to it. But Rams and Cardinals, I think, will be important because that could be the leader of the division. And if the Cardinals go 1-2,
everyone in
Rams
that
go
division's
1-2.
1-1. I just realized.
Huh?
Everyone in that division is 1-1. I just realized.
Yes. So it's up for grabs.
And the Seahawks play the Falcons, so they could win that game.
They could. Broncos, though, I don't know how to feel about it because the clock management does not seem to be good, and Russell Wilson, to me, seems to have a harder time adjusting than I thought he would.
Yeah. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle to start this season, and I didn't anticipate that. Obviously, I had them going 13-4. Another team I didn't expect to deal with injuries as much as the Chargers. Like, that injury to Justin Herbert could really stifle their growth this year.
I do agree. And they do have Chase Daniel, who's a good backup, but he's just not Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's fantastic. But he was still able to sling it, but hopefully he gets a lot more rest and they can play. And it is a Jaguar, so maybe rest Herbert and push Chase Daniel, because I think your defense could lead the charge on that. Even though Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars did look good last week against the Colts, which I was just shocked that the Colts could not score.
Yeah. The Jaguars slowed out on the run, and no one could catch passes. So there was just no one to throw the ball to.
So now we have, I'm just looking at the games. I wasn't sure what else. How do you feel about the 2 Monday Night Football games?
Weird. Very weird.
That's how I feel too.
Both
I
of
did
them
double
weren't
skip.
good. So
Oh yeah, I was disappointed in the Vikings and Eagles game.
yeah, that was your game of the week. Mine was
Yeah.
also not that great, but it was closer. Or same difference.
It was Packers and
Did the game end 24-7?
I thought it was 24-10 Packers.
No, no, that game ended 27-10. I'm talking about the Vikings game.
Vikings game I believe was 24-7.
Okay, so no same difference because the Bears game was 27-10 and the Vikings game 24-7.
Yeah. So
Do you have a most surprising thing this week?
most surprising thing.
The Jaguars thing has to be up there.
It's definitely up there. Probably the ending of. Ooh. I might go Ravens Dolphins with just Tyreek Hill looked wide open on some throws and just them coming back from. Oh, never mind. I'm going to go Jets. Jets Browns. That Jets ending.
Yeah, you stole mine. I thought you weren't going to mention it, but yeah. The first team to come back, I think since 2001, to be down 14 points with 2 minutes left. Nick Chubb, if he does not run the ball in for a touchdown and just falls down, the Jets had no timeouts. The game was over. But he runs into the end zone. But he's like, the game's over anyway. There's no way the Jets score and get an onside kick and then score again. So I kind of can see it through his head without giving him too much fault. But yeah, that ending was wow. And there was
And it's with
multiple
their
of those
backup.
during this week. When you think about the Ravens ending, the Jets ending, there was also the Cardinals Raiders ending that was immaculate. The Cowboys ending to that game was good.
Oh, yeah. I thought Maher missed.
It's
But yeah.
crazy he's back again.
Yeah. New number, though. So maybe that's it. But Zeke looked good. Zeke has looked good.
Yeah, Zeke's one of the best, one of the better running backs in the league. The issue is I don't think he's better than Tony Pollard.
So does that make Tony Pollard one of the best running backs in the league?
You see, I would agree with that statement, but the issue is we don't get to see him enough. I would say yes, because I believe he's really good. But
Let's do
the
a quick-
issue is Zeke is also one of
He's great.
if not the best blockers.
It's true. That's a good thing for him.
Yeah,
That's a good bonus with him.
Yeah, his blocking is great.
Let's go quick. We don't have to number them. Just like put in like quick. We can number them later if you want. But Jonathan Taylor. Just like when you think of top running backs, I think Jonathan Taylor. I think Derrick Henry.
McCaffrey had a great week. He only ran the ball 15 times and got 102 yards this week.
Dang.
Right.
Alvin Kamara.
Aaron Jones. Aaron
Aaron
had a
Jones, yes.
monster week.
Oh yeah. Aaron Jones. So those five. Saquon. And then
yeah, Zeke or Fournette. I mean, I really like
Zeke
Fournette.
and Fournette. That's when we get. I wanted to see when Zeke. Yeah, that's when Zeke comes in. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think I need to see more from him, even though he's had a really good start.
Yeah.
I feel that's how we can end it. Let us know your thoughts. Make sure to check out the prediction video and the Would You Rather. Would You Rather was fun with me. There's also one with Austin. We did both. And then that's all we got. Thank you for listening, and make sure to check out all our other videos.